Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky, and let's do this. Bottles of burning hammer littered the pavement, shattered into tiny bits of glass. Even if the recycling guy was really careless with the boxes, it shouldn't have caused this much of a mess. It looks like someone came along and actually threw them all over the place. The heck with this thing? I toss away the miracle stone, which has clearly brought me only bad luck. We can't have a product demo without a product, which in turn means I won't be getting paid for this whole fiasco. Okay, we can do this. We can figure something out. I try to give myself a pep talk, but I hear the doubt in my own voice. I try to brainstorm anyway. Finding inspiration is like trying to squeeze blood from a stone. I rack my mind for the best course of action. And at long last, I arrive at a conclusion. Somehow or another, I'm going to have to sell some burning hammer. I'll just have to find something else to sell. It clearly is not B. We've already seen that ending through Minurikawa's storyline, so it's this one. Somehow or another, I'm going to have to sell some burning hammer. The flyers have already been handed out. People have come to the demo expecting to get burning hammer. I may have to put it into some new bottles and possibly water it down some. But getting this stuff sold is my only option. My eyes alight to one of the cardboard boxes and I notice an odd mark that's stamped on it. Wait a sec. I've seen this before. I recall something Cheery said earlier. This is the sort of thing they'd sell in 100-yen shops or something. The mark on the box is the same one I saw at the shop that's selling the necklace. That's it! I can see if there's more at the knick-knack shop. Guided by this ray of hope, I head for the knick-knack shop as fast as I can run. A glimmer, a sliver, the ever-dwindling light in the distance. Point is, there's not much. Doop! As soon as I reach the main road, I crash right into someone. It's Cheery. Oh, hey, you find it? She asks. She makes it sound like it's not really her problem. Not yet, but I think we can stock up at the 100-yen shop. The words are hard to get out when I'm panting as hard as I am. For now, just stay calm and go let the boss know. Got it. Leave it to me. Cheery nods and I break back into a run. I'm practically praying as I rush into the knick-knack shop, where I immediately spot the cardboard boxes I saw earlier still stacked up. Yes, I'm in luck. I dive into one of the boxes to check what's inside. It's packed with tiny bottles. There's no mistaking the noxious red liquid inside. That's burning hammer, all right. There's 50 bottles per box, and there are 4 boxes total. Assuming each box is 100 yen, including tax, I can buy the whole lot with 20,000 I have got in my wallet. Mr. Nagashita said he was selling the bottles at the demo for 15,000 yen a piece. That way, if we sell all 200 bottles, he'll be able to pay back his debts, no problem. Whoa, what's the deal with you? The sales eyes go wide when he sees my getup. This stuff. I like your entire stock. I point at the burning hammer and clerk makes an awkward face. I'm afraid that's already been sold. What? You mean like all of it? Who the heck? I wonder, are they trying to make a point? Is it the same people that broke the other bottles? Nobody in their right mind could possibly want all of this. Yes, all of it, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not gonna roll over that easily. Whether I earn that extra 20,000 or not hinges on whatever I can get this stuff. Please, you've got to help me out. I'm afraid it's out of my hands. Then could you get in touch with the buyer? Tell them I'm willing to negotiate. I suppose that wouldn't be an issue, but actually, would you mind waiting for him just a moment? She said she'd be by ASAP. She? After 5 minutes of waiting, the buyer still hasn't shown up. I don't think she's coming, I say. That's odd, the sales clerk murmurs. Said on the phone she'd come by just after 1 o'clock to pick them up. What? I really need this right away. I understand that, but please, it's out of my hands. By now, the sales demo has already started. If I come back empty-handed, what was the point of all this effort? Gimme. I've already said I can't do that. Gimme. Would you please wait a moment? Why did I spend all that time trying to hand out samples? Why did I put this stupid costume on? Why did I miss out on lunch? Why? What was it all for? Eek! Look over there. It's the chupacabra. Huh? Yoink! Seizing the moment, I snatch up the boxes of burning hammer and make a run for it. Hey! Hold it right there, miss. The sales clerk is quick to bar my path. Oof. I barrel my way right past him. Bump him harder than intended as I race by. He loses his balance and goes crashing through the display case at the front of his shop. Oh my God. Oh no. At the same time, I hear something else topple over with a thud and gurgle. Some sort of liquid begins to gush from a red polyethylene container. Uh-oh. So his eyes go wide as he stare fixed on something on the sidewalk nearby. Oh no. It's a cigarette! Burning butt ignites the liquid in a sudden massive blaze. And now for today's news. Shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon, there was an explosion at a variety store in Dagawacho in Shibuya, the cause of which remains unknown. Eyewitnesses report seeing an individual wearing a full-body cat costume fleeing the scene in the aftermath of the explosion. Police consider this individual a person of interest and have not ruled out the possibility that this bombing was a terrorist act. Several hours after the incident, the cat remains at large. Oh shoot, is this a bad ending? Are you kidding me? Fled the country. Tama wound up as a prime suspect in an apparent terrorist bombing. If the buyer had shown up earlier, Tama's argument with the sales clerk might have never have happened, to say nothing of the rest. As a matter of fact, the buyer was just outside the shop at the critical moment she was held up. When she happened to run into someone. That someone's actions at 1305 are the key to changing Tama's fate. The buyer was outside of the shop. Oh my God. It's not the other choice, because that would mean she would try to sell the charm, and Minokara's got the bad ending. That would give her another bad ending. It has to be Burning Hammer. So that means though. don't deserve to be forgiven for what I've done. We may have both done the same thing, but my motives, those were different, and so I don't regret what I did. And yet, if someone were to ask if there was some small part of me that wanted to see the results of my research, I cannot deny it. Osawa grabbed his shoes from the entryway and then headed for the back door. He didn't want the detectives in his living room to know he was going to meet with Makino. That pest, Kajiwara, was nowhere in sight. Now was his chance to slip away. Gotcha. Speak of the devil, Kajiwara had snuck up behind him. Are you going out? The detective asked. Ah, no. I was just... Osawa felt something inside his shoe. Glancing down, he saw a rubber duck stuffed inside it. Is this your doing? I laid a booby trap, or rather a ducky trap. Originally a type of lethal trap used during wartime to catch clumsy or unwary soldiers, boobies. In modern parlance, however, the term frequently signifies a harmless prank, such as setting a blackboard eraser atop a classroom door so that it falls into the head of whoever opens the door. Kajiwara beamed with self-satisfaction. You know, you act like a grade schooler, Osawa said. Indeed, sir. I am a grown man with a youthful heart. Leave it to Kajiwara to yet again miss the point entirely. With a sigh, Osawa tossed the duck at him. Kajiwara caught it nimbly in one hand, then stuffed it right into his pocket. I won't tell you that you aren't allowed to leave, sir. All I ask is that you tell me where you've been and where you plan on going. My work is highly confidential. I am not at liberty to discuss just anything about... Please try to work with me on this, sir. Do you recall what I said before? About how I'd appreciate if you didn't keep secrets from me? Osawa hesitated, inwardly debating how much he should share. You decided to tell the truth? Alright, I'll tell you, just leave me in peace. You need to keep this a secret? Does it concern you? I'm just gonna buy some cigarettes. Ah. I feel like he'd follow us. I feel like this is the wrong answer. So it's either one of these. Decided to tell the truth? Alright, I'll tell you. Just leave me in peace. One of my colleagues is waiting for me outside. Who is it? I'm sorry, that's all I can say. Could you tell me a bit about what you'll be discussing? Kajiwara leaned in even closer. His eyes twinkled with suspicion. I can't share corporate secrets, detective. Like how you don't tell me anything about the state of your investigation. It goes both ways. Might have been childish reasoning, but it worked on Kajiwara. It's alright. In that case, I have just one condition. Please take this with you. Produce something that looked like a small transceiver from inside his coat. What's this? It's a bug tracker, sir. I'll beep in response to a nearby listening device. I'm just going to meet someone from work. Don't need this. He pushed Kajiwara's hand aside, and the bug tracker fell to the floor. Mr. Osawa, you mustn't underestimate the lengths to which these kidnappers might go. For once, the detective's face was all seriousness. Alright, fine. Osawa snatched up the device and headed out the door. Makino's car was parked out front. A driver stood alongside it. Osawa exchanged a wordless greeting with him, then got into the back. He found Makino reclining in one of the luxurious leather seats. Now then, what did you want to ask me about? I was hoping you could explain the situation to me, sir. Which situation would that be? So he was still going to beat around the bush, even now. Osawa suppressed an urge to shout at him. Are you the one who let the antiviral out of the lab, sir? Yes, that was me. Oh, shoot. Makino didn't bat an eye. So why had he been so coy a few moments earlier? But how? The fingerprint authentication system is almost unbreakable. Getting access to the storage area would... He trailed off as a thought suddenly occurred to him. It was not strictly true that fingerprint authentication was the only means of entry. Osawa and Tanaka had both set up passwords as fail-safes in case an injured fingertip somehow prevented them from operating the scanner properly. Could Makino have sent a request to the electronic locks manufacturer and asked them to unlock it then? No. That required the approval of 6 board members. And Osawa was one of those 6 people. There really seemed to be no way of getting in without leaving any trace. You're absolutely right, of course, Makino said with a grin, as if reading his thought. I couldn't gain access to the lab without you and Tanaka. But I didn't have to. You remember when we released the samples for animal testing? No, it couldn't be. But it could. I had them to divert some of the samples intended for animal testing. Naturally, that didn't leave. Osawa bit his lip hard. He couldn't help but feel betrayed by his company. But why? You don't seem to grasp just how valuable this thing is. What do you mean by that, sir? Makino lowered his voice. There was a major world power out there that had already weaponized the UA virus. That's crazy. For a moment, Osawa thought this was just a sick joke, but the look on Makino's face told him otherwise. I had been informed that it was recently used on a military installation in the Middle East. In 12 hours of dispersal, there were at least 800 casualties. If you include civilians, the number jumps to over 2,000. Any evidence of the disease agent and the bomb that delivered it has, of course, been covered up. antiviral you created, Osawa has the potential to render his weapon useless. Right now, Okashi Pharmaceutical possesses the sole means to combat UA. Any number of countries would love to get their hands on it. The major power in question has offered an unprecedented sum. And that's hardly a surprise. Having a monopoly on the antiviral to Osawa, this was a glimpse into another terrifying world, one he had barely imagined previously. And so, we want to get human testing over with as soon as possible. Sophistry, Osawa muffled. You use money to deceive a bunch of poor farmers. Come on, Osawa. Who's being disingenuous now? I know you, Osawa. I know you're not really concerned for some bunched one of you. All you care about is your research. Thing that really nagging you right, I should say nagging you right now is that someone went ahead and did the final clinicals without you. Oh, spare me the ridicule, sir. As a virologist, I have this moral. intelligence, I have a moral duty to what? Go to the media with this? Do you have any idea how much money Sawa's lab is incurred expenses of roughly 30 billion yen in developing the antiviral medication? Okoshi Pharmaceutical spends approximately 200 billion yen per year on research and development. Osawa's work is the single most costly element on the budget. I'll appreciate that. I do appreciate all the company has done for me, sir. He spoke so quietly that his voice was nearly inaudible. In any event, Makino said, now that you know about the human testing, I can't let you go to America. How? How do you know about that? He'd insisted that AI keep his planned relocation a secret, but apparently she told her father regardless. Any means necessary. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. Sir, you don't mean that my daughter's kidnapping was... Don't be ridiculous, Makino said before Osawa could finish. Of course that wasn't me. Nevertheless, I'll do what I must to keep you in line. Remember that. Understood, sir. I'll turn down the U.S. job offer. Osawa heard his own voice like the thin drone of a tiny insect. He felt utterly powerless. I can't simply take your word on that. Do it now. I want to hear you do it myself. He jetted his way toward the phone in the backseat of the console. All right, Osawa said. He had no choice but to fall in line. Couldn't this wait just a little bit, sir? Maybe he could still find a way out. Fall in line. It would be around 10 p.m. local time for the American firm. He decided to call his contacts personal. The headhunter was shocked to hear that Osawa wanted to decline the position. When he pressed for the reasons behind the decision, Osawa hung up. Visibly relieved, Makino lit up like a fresh cigar. Sir, there's one thing I don't understand. What's that? The smoke inside the vehicle had gotten extremely thick. If someone has this top secret information, why wouldn't they threaten the company as a whole? Why send those emails to me personally? I'm not sure. There's an internal investigation already underway. If you'll beg my pardon then, sir. A high-pitched chirp sounded from his pocket. The bug tracker Kajiwara had given him had picked up a signal. Is that your cell? Oh yes, that's mine. He hurriedly hopped out of the car and reached into his pocket. Is everything alright, sir? The driver was still waiting outside the car. He leaned toward Osawa, looking concerned. Was it you? Osawa stepped close to the driver. Did you send me those emails? What? What are you talking about, sir? Don't play dumb with me. You're the only person who could have planted a listening device from a company on a company car. Listening device? The driver raised an eyebrow in confusion. What are you after? Sir, what are you talking about? Who told you to do it? Tell me. The driver fled back into the car. Saul clutched the bug tracker as hard as he watched the vehicle pull away. He went back into his house, still gripped by confusion. She must have gotten home. I was out. You were with my father, weren't you? She sneered at Osara as he slipped off his shoes. Yes, I was, he replied. And it's over. What's over? She knows damn well what. He struggled to contain his irritation. America. I'm not going, he huffed. Oh, really? Well, that's good news. She sounded sincerely pleased. Maybe a little more pleased than Osawa cared for. I need to go finish up some work things. He threw himself down in front of his computer. There hadn't been any progress on the investigation as usual. Just how long was this all going on for? Were all kidnapping cases drawn out? Osawa was growing more and more uneasy. He could barely contain himself at this point. Wasn't there something, anything that he could do? Glanced over at his monitor. That's an idea. He could look up kidnapping investigations on the internet. That might give him some insight into the current situation. Kidnapping, police investigations. The engine pulled up over 100,000 hits. He scanned the beginning of the list for anything that might be useful. One of the site links caught his eye. How the police do it. He clicked on the link for the kidnapping cases and began to read. Even the hostage wound up safe in the end. The site informed him. The police lost face if the complainer got away. Even if a person's life was on the line, when it came to kidnapping case, the police prioritized making the arrest. Taking his hand off the mouse, Osawa sat back and thought. He wasn't going to be able to relax until he heard Maria's voice again. But if the police prioritized arresting the suspect, why were they just letting things stay in limbo now? Didn't they have the crooks under surveillance? He couldn't wrap his head around that. The internet hadn't been able to give him the info he hoped for either all. Unable to do anything for Maria but wait. Oh shoot. He stole a quick look back at the door. Then served to the accompanying fan community for people 40 and over. He knew that now wasn't really the time to be doing this, but he needed to do something to calm the quiet in his mind. He started a new form topic. Entitled field, he wrote. With Aya Kamiki still at the height of her popularity, does anyone else think it would be exciting if she ventured to the American market? I know I would. She's not the sort of artist who deserves to be confined to Japan. She should be recording at an American studio staffed by the industry's best. I'd love to see her career really take off over there. Wound up getting into a little back and forth with himself. Hopefully, he'd get a response from someone else soon. Uh-oh. A sudden shrill noise startled him so much that he nearly cried out. His heart fluttered like that of a young child who'd been caught in some prank. Realizing that the sound was coming from the bug's tracker, he pulled it from his pocket and took a few breaths to steady himself. Eventually, someone had bugged his study as well. The detective. Who else would do it? Tracker in hand, he walked toward the center of the room. What direction was the signal coming from? Tried heading over toward the window. Here maybe? Next, he headed to his desk. Here too. Bug tracker was picking up signals from all over the room. Mr. Osawa, it's Kajiwara. Ah, perfect timing. Osawa hurried to let the detective in. The bug tracker is picking up signals. Oh, yes, from all over the room. What should I do? Please calm down. If it's that impossible to right now. Feels like there must have been 10 or maybe 100 listening devices in here. Kajiwara didn't miss a beat. What? Osawa was dumbfounded, broken, but this is the one I got from you, right? Well, yes, but mine is the detecting thing. Kajiwara produced an identical bug tracker from his pocket, and as he said, it wasn't getting any signal. As I recall, Mr. Osawa, that one was dropped on the floor when I was trying to hand it to you. Ah, yes, that's right. That must have been when it broke, sir. The strength ebbed from Osawa's body. He didn't even have the mental energy to be angry anymore. Gave the tracker with a whack with the palm of his hand, and the beeping stopped. Right, he said. What can I do for you? Ah, right, we have a big problem. The toilet again. No, it's not that. It's something worse. Has something happened to Maria? You need to hear the detectives out. What is it? Go on, tell me. Well, you see, we ordered lunches for everyone, and it looked like there were 2 lunches still left. So I wound up eating them. Osawa didn't have the foggiest idea of how to respond. My deepest apologies, sir. I ate the lunches intended for you and your wife. Kajiwara bowed profusely. And I really need to apologize. I really do need to apologize. They were tonkatsu bento boxes, and they were delicious. The meat was so tender, and the batter so crisp. Each and every bite, the rich flavor just filled my mouth more and more. I felt a blood vessel burst in his skull. Listen, you. Get your gosh darn act together. Or, he didn't get to finish that thought. I see, Kajara said. You are hungry. He fussed sheepishly with his hair, and the talk of food, Osawa realized abruptly that he hadn't eaten anything since the night before. Shall I make something for you? The detective asked. It's all my fault after all. You can cook? You mustn't judge people based on outward appearances, Mr. Osawa. All right, fine. Go right ahead then. His newfound hunger was making it hard for him to think. It would certainly behoove him to eat something. Wearing an apron, which is a must. That's right. Sir Atlas. Sir, alas, it wasn't while I'm naked. Naked? Oh, are you not familiar with the concept of naked apron? No, that's quite all right. Where'd you get that apron anyway? It's mine. Have you had it with you this whole time? Yes, I'm here. I need to whip something up for you fast. For now, he just have to pray he wound up with something edible. Maybe it was better to ask Tanaka to make him lunch instead. Since AI's lunch is gone as well, he should probably ask her. So I gave him a hurried phone call, and the assistant director was quick to agree. I have Mr. Tanaka help me here. By all means, go back to your... Hope you don't think I'm not included to help you out. Since when had helping out been Kajiwara's strong suit? That's not the issue, Osawa said. It's such a shame, a friend being treated like a stranger. Oh, how I would love it if you, stranger to me. Osawa was still struggling to turn down. Kajiwara's assistant, Tanaka, arrived, his sleeves rolled up. He'd already removed his jacket and his necktie. All right, he said. What are we making? Sounding happy enough to... Apparently, he didn't mind cooking. This was a side of Tanaka that Osawa had never seen before. Oh, well, you helping out as well? Of course. It's all part of my duties while I'm stationed here. Understood. Let's get started on then, shall we? Prepare began rummaging about. Kajiwara appeared into the refrigerator. Goodness, you are remarkably understocked, he said. Let's see it. Could you please put these in the diner, Mr. Osawa? The detective handed. You want me to help out? Of course. It's your rights after all. Sorry, I wasn't sure how to respond to that. Please go ahead and ding those. Ding? I'm afraid I'm not familiar with dinging. I mean, heat them in the microwave oven. Don't know how to work a microwave? Fortunately, he had no idea how to work the controls. You should thaw that rice out as soon as possible, Kajwarz told him. I'm actually not sure how to operate this thing. What? The detective gasped. You don't know how to use a microwave? Kajwarz pulled out a sheet of bubble wrap from his pocket. What? What is this for? Use your fingers to pop the bubbles. That should help you calm down. Too drained to argue, Osawa did his prompt, starting to top his way along the sheet. It's quite alright. With so little in the way of ingredients, I guess there wasn't much I could really do. Shoulders slumped, he glanced over at Osawa. I'll leave this in your hands then, detective. Are you sure you don't mind? Should I go out and purchase some more ingredients? No, that's fine. Thank you for all the trouble. No, I apologize for not being more helpful. Tanaka washed his hands and left the kitchen. Rather than calm down, though it was making him incredibly cross, this felt more like a sort of ridiculous punishment. They say you can learn a lot about a household by looking in the fridge, you know. Kajwarz was cooking something in the frying pan, and just what have you learned about mine? Better not say, sir. You might take offense. The rice was finished thawing. Kajwarz topped the steaming bowl of rice with the fried egg. He whipped in his pan then, as if it was an afterthought, he added some pickled vegetables. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop it here for today. Thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care. Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.